Hello everyone, Brad Johnson here, and welcome to part 3 of the Awakening series, where we're going to be talking about rainbow wisdom. And speaking of rainbow wisdom, this is the newest book that is going to be out on November 11th, 2014, of course October 31st, the date of this video being shot. So there is also going to be an online PDF version that you can actually purchase through consciousmatrix.com tomorrow, November 1st, again, the day after the shooting of this video. Just feel free to go to consciousmatrix.com and you can grab your online copy there, and then you can grab the printed copy that's going to be available on Amazon directly through consciousmatrix.com on November 11th. So go ahead and check it out. It's a short but sweet book. So again, not too thick, but a lot of very, very straight to the point, simplistic and effective information. So as we are talking about rainbow wisdom through the Awakening series, what is it that we are discussing? Well, in part 1 we talked about awakening to a new reality. In part 2 we were talking about self-alliance. And now in part 3 we're looking at rainbow wisdom in regards to living intuitively. Living intuitively. So basically looking into the idea about how we are able to actually live our life through the aspect of flow, through the aspect of the heart, through the aspect of the symmetry and alignment of everything that makes us whole. So again, having the idea of logic and having the idea of feeling in alliance. Now, as long as if you feel that just one of these particular aspects are stronger than the other, then that is always going to create an imbalance. That's going to be the weight of the scale. It is very important to have feeling, but logic is also what would be known as grounding. It's very good to have logic, but without feeling, you're not allowing yourself to feel the essence of the situation. And that is what feeling is all about. It's about being grounded, and it's about having essence. And that is the key, because this is what opens you up into whole new doors of reality. Because basically, what a lot of people feel, that when they go into the spiritual movements or into the New Age circles, that we're going to evolve to such a point to where we just become angelic beings. We connect back to our star family, and then we get the hell off this planet. And oh, thank God. I can't wait to get off this planet. I can't wait to spiritually evolve myself, transform into light, and then get the hell out of here. That's not why we're here. When you are basically moving into the aspect of rainbow wisdom, which I'll just nickname RW, when you're looking into the aspect of rainbow wisdom, you are of service to the microcosm of the macrocosm of all life as we know it to be. As talked about previously in other videos as well, that when we're looking at a heightening of consciousness, we have Mother Earth right here. As we're looking into the idea of the Earth, it's not that our location is changing. It's not that we're going to be seeing so much light and ethereal forms throughout our reality. It's that our perception changes, that we have advanced depth perception. So our perception of what we did not understand before is basically the representation of one of the rainbow wise, of one who is able to understand a much more deeper learning, a much more deeper aspect to themselves that they see through common environments, that they may see through people. Now, when you are looking into becoming part of the rainbow wise, again representing the idea that you are connected intuitively, you are flowing, you are communicating through intuition, you are living through intuition. Everything about you is intuitive flow. That we understand that any time we're talking to another person and that we are having a nice, beautiful conversation with them, and all of a sudden we just may start to notice that this other particular person may just start to say something that maybe we don't like. Maybe they say something, they bring something up that's a trigger to us that makes us feel pretty on the shaky end here, pretty much on the shaky ground. This person may just say, well, maybe you just have to grow up a little bit more and start to take more of your work seriously. Oh my God, and all of a sudden we get offended. Oh my God, this person said the most negative thing to me today. This person just told me I need to grow up and take my work seriously, thinking that I was playing around too much, etc., etc. Oh, guy is so negative. I don't know why he said anything like that. What's up with that, right? Has nothing to do with this person being negative. The information, the feedback, the perspective of that particular person was assigned through the meaning of a negative response through ourselves. We therefore took it as something negative. Now again, that's looking at it the perspective that every single person that talks to every other single person will always have a certain opinion about that person. And that is what's going to make everybody so unique. That's what makes us so unique. That's what makes everything just stand out so beautifully. That's how life is so exciting, because we always have this beautiful plethora of interpretation, of opinion, and of value. But the whole idea is that there really is no such thing as a negative or a positive person. It's all about what they share with you in through that perspective that you assign meaning to it, representing if it's positive or negative. You are your own negative person. You are your own positive person, because you adapt the meaning in regards to what people say to you that you may feel is positive or negative. It's all coming back to you. This person just exists in the form that they do to give you a message, to tell you what you think about yourself. So when this person is saying, well, you kind of screw around a lot, you don't really take things seriously, and maybe you should look into that, it's all about you saying that back to yourself through the aspect of this person. Now the Rainbow Wise understand this, because it's not about getting offended about that person. It's about looking into that particular perspective. Somebody may come up to me and saying, well, Brad, you know what, you do good videos, but your lighting really sucks. It may be something like that. Or, maybe your camera's not so good, and you really should, look into getting something a little bit better. You know what, I really appreciate that. That's something that I'm basically just saying to myself. Maybe my lighting does suck. Maybe the camera does suck here. Maybe that's something to look into a little bit more and being able to improve the quality of video, etc. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. So, I'm not gravitating in regards to our personal means and say, oh, my camera sucks. All right, punk. All right, come on, put it up. Let's go. Right? It's not going to be about that. It's all about the idea that I am listening to what that person is saying. I'm not going to hold a grudge to that aspect, because that person is just representing a catalyst in regards to what I'm attempting to tell myself. So here's the idea, is that the external will always be the reflection of the internal. Always. It's just a projection screen. That's all we're experiencing in reality. You can't escape the internalness of yourself. You can't escape the inner universe. And so the inner universe, again, like a projector, is just broadcasting this particular stage. It's broadcasting this screen in regards to everybody that's coming in together in our reality, that represents the idea of catalyst coming back to ourselves in order for us to understand a state of completion, helping us to resolve aspects about ourselves that we may not see, but others are coming into our reality to be those versions of ourselves to remind us about certain things. Sometimes that can seem harsh, just in regards to the meaning that we assign to it. Sometimes we assign some negative forms of aspects of meaning relating to what other people are conveying to us. It's all up to us. It's all about us interpreting that. Reality is by interpretation. Always has been, always will be. And so when you're looking at a person and you're having these conversations, be very, very mindful about how you assign them. Now, for that person that had the comment about, hypothesis-wise, hypothetically, about the lighting, about the camera in that sense, doesn't mean that I've assigned anything positive or negative about it. It is what it is. It's something that I took into heart and saying, oh, okay, you know what, that's something for me to look at. Look into some better lighting equipment. Looking into a better camera, or being able to get a better microphone, whatever it is, right? Getting a bigger board, maybe. That's another thing as well, too. Which I really do want to get, actually. So that's okay. But basically what it's stating is that it's just bringing back a realization to me. It's a catalyst that's reflecting back. And so utilizing rainbow wisdom, I understand the perspective of what that person is trying to say to me. It is a valid perspective. Now, that doesn't mean that every single thing that a person says, a person may just walk down the street with you and say, oh my God, your shoes are ugly, get rid of them, right? Doesn't mean you have to get rid of them. But again, it's just you reflecting back on that and thinking, there's a part of me that thinks that maybe my shoes aren't that great, but you know what, doesn't mean I have to get rid of them. It's just understanding the state of perspective, realizing that if somebody is blurting that out, and if it doesn't really affect us, then it really has no meaning. So a person could get mad at you for wearing blue shoes, whatever it is. Doesn't mean that you have to take that to heart. Doesn't mean you have to hold a grudge relating to that. That's just a perspective. If it really holds no form of impact to you, I'm saying, all right, well, I'm sorry you don't like my shoes, but you know what? All the best to you, brother. Take care. Right? That's it, because you're not affected by that. Because sometimes these aspects of ourselves will come into our reality to see exactly, are we really confident about ourselves? It really has nothing to do with our shoes at all. It has nothing to do with the clothes we wear. It just has to do in regards to, can we maintain our integrity? I feel great this morning. Nothing can knock me off course. That person comes by, I hate your shoes, they suck, get rid of them. Right? And that's really the whole idea, saying, well, nothing can knock you off course. Can that person knock you off course? That could be the idea of a reflection right there, a catalyst. So looking into the idea about how perspective is just the range of ourselves. We are always surrounded by this 360-degree panoramic hall of mirrors that is just surrounding us and just bringing about some of these really amazing reflections of ourselves. And that what they share with us is our meaning about what we do, about how we feel about ourselves, whether it be positive or whether it be negative. And the Rainbow Wise continue to look at that. When you're looking at rainbow wisdom, you're looking at all the contrast. You're looking at all the extensions of how reality is communicating with you. And it's all about the idea that the philosophy of rainbow wisdom is all about 3 words. It's I love you. Those are the 3 most powerful words for one who is looking to move into rainbow wisdom. That it is all about that principle. That if I can continue to love myself, I can continue to love everybody else. It's not about the idea when a person says, oh, I just love everything. I love everything. How are you feeling about yourself today? Not so good. Well, then you don't love everything. You're having troubles and you're having conflicts with yourself. So the whole idea is that, firstly, look into all of the aspects of yourself. Look into these 3 particular words and see how it impacts you. If you feel that these 3 words are awful to say, I just don't want to say I love you. I don't know. I can't go into the mirror and I can't really look at myself more than 3 seconds without just kind of doing that. Then that's basically telling you that there's an aspect of yourself that you have an issue with, that you have some type of problem with. Because you're not able to look at yourself in the eyes in that kind of nice long stare and look in this camera or look in the mirror and say, I love you. Thank you very much for being the best possible self that I could ever ask for. It has been an amazing journey, and I am so thankful and so grateful for everything that I've experienced on this planet. And I wish that continued abundance of beautiful experience that will come together. Thank you so much, self, for that beauty, for that love, and for that appreciation of allowing me to live here on this planet, in this body, continuing this experience. Beautiful. I love you. Right? That's it. That's all you're doing. You're just having a heart-to-heart talk with yourself. And if you're noticing that you're having a lot of difficulty, well, it's because a lot of your focus has been brought into the external. The external, the reflections. Taking everything so seriously to the point where everybody else's opinions and everybody else's values and the morality of society and all these other reflections are holding a dominion over you. Because you are valuing so much about other people's perspectives, other people's opinions, other people's philosophies, and you're not even taking into heart your own. Your philosophies, your uniqueness, your truth, your understandings are just as amazing, are just as equal as anything else that you experience, because there is nobody else in your world. There is no one else in your universe. Right here, right now, I myself am in my own universe. I'm talking to a camera that is a catalyst to the reflection of myself, bringing about this information. I'm in my home right now, seeing a catalyst representing the reflection of my state of being about how this place is arranged. And it's pretty simple, so to speak. So maybe I'm just kind of simple in that way. But again, we're just looking at ourselves and we're seeing how we reflect with each other. We're looking at the catalysts. We're seeing exactly how we grow together. And that's all we're here to do on this planet, is to really understand that it's not about having to 100% agree with everybody, having to sacrifice yourself for the world, because there is no world. There's just yours. As you start to work with natural respect, natural appreciation, natural love with yourself, you go into a deep, deep spectrum of reality. And this is rainbow wisdom. You're gaining experience by the continual depth of perception that you go into relating to life. And now you become wise about it. You're becoming wise and mindfully aware about how humanity, about how life, about how reality has impacted you to the point of your betterment, rather than the idea that you're wallowing into the power of the illusion. And that's it. That's all this particular reality represents. As we all know, it's a hologram. As we all know, it's all about relative forms. It's all about attraction. It's all about magnetics. It's all about energy and frequency. And these are all relative. And we can play with them because we are just the creators working together with this creation. But the whole idea, really, is that for you to move into the spectrum of the rainbow wise is to look into perception in a way that benefits you, that is looking into the aspect that even if a person wants to say the most horrible thing that you assign as that meaning, something so negative, it's only giving you the idea that an aspect of you in some version to that idea is still looking to be accepted. This is basically what we know as having debris in the field. So if I was to erase this and just put S as the self, and I would just start to see all of these little bits that are floating together in the field. And these all represent the idea of what we would consider to be obstructions. These represent the idea of barriers. This represents the idea of debris contained within our field. The debris is something that we have put there. Nobody else in reality can put debris in your field. It is impossible. You are the one that has put all debris in your field. Your own lack of love has been the segregation, has been the splinters, and has been the shards that you have placed in your field. You've done that because nobody else can take an aspect of your soul out and go, phew, and throw it into a trash bin. Just compacting it into a little ball and playing basketball with the trash bin. No. You've done that because you have given meaning to the idea of those who you felt hold an authority over you, or a dominion, or some type of higher superiority over you. As a child, this happens to us a lot. In fact, there is not one child on the planet right now that does not have some type of fragmentation in their field. That's unfortunate. But this is what we're attempting to learn. We're developing ourselves to realize that all we're looking to do on this planet, for the sake of many generations to come, is to create a space of love. Is to actually create an idea representing rainbow wisdom, which represents, again, perception in a state of harmony. That the real important thing here is that everybody is able to express themselves freely to the point of a state of service. Because we're all just looking back to ourselves. And as we look into ourselves and we start to feel that harmony within ourselves, we have nothing that we need to be angry about. We have nothing conflicting that we need to know about. When children are educated in this way at a very, very young age, and they realize that there's nothing to conflict about, because now you're able to express yourself, you're able to share your feelings, because you're encouraged to look into yourself. You're encouraged with your gifts. You're encouraged with your abilities. You're encouraged to be connected with nature, to go out and play in the trees and roll around in the grass, do some gardening. Do whatever it is that makes you feel good. The children, their grand lesson is to preserve the aspect of innocence. That is why a child is such a grand teacher, because in their younger ages, they are the personification of innocence. As adults, as parents, our job is for those young children who have the innocence is to be the discerners. Is basically being able to assist them in regards to the state of discernment, helping them to guide their path, not being so overly critical, not throwing a bunch of crap on them because they get out of line because they're still trying to figure things out. They're young and they're still attempting to adapt to their world. But looking into the idea of how through discernment you can assist them in regards to helping them make choices that are very complementary to themselves. That if you're noticing how they're playing, if you notice how they're participating in life, that the discernment itself is really helping them to move more into that aspect, to really fulfill that joy, rather than the idea of saying, stop that, don't do that, come on, knock it off, enough with that, etc., etc., etc. Believe me, I've been guilty with that with my own kids in the past as well, too. And that's something that, we're attempting to learn, is being able to look into the joyous aspect, the bliss, that the innocence of children bring together. And this is rainbow wisdom as well too, is that you realize that the young children, the little ones, are here on this planet to be the preservations of innocence. And they are doing so much work on this planet just by being themselves, just by playing, by having this higher dimensional, this higher vibratory state of love that is so powerful, just right alongside the animals. Dogs and little kids, cats and little kids, frolic and have an amazing time, right? And all we're attempting to do is be the discerners, because children don't discern at a very young age. They're just so much in the moment. They're so excited. They want to play. They want to have fun. They want to enjoy life. And as our systems continue in this way, it's basically attempting to numb that feeling, to numb away that innocence, and come into the idea of an illusionary order. So for one who is looking to achieve rainbow wisdom within themselves, is they do what they feel they can do to be the preservers of discernment, so that the preservers of innocence can continue to share their innocence, the purity of spirit, the purity of joy, the purity of love upon the planet. That's what we do through the Rainbow Wise. That's the whole key. Because as we're just looking at the rainbow, we're looking at the rainbow and realizing that this has an immense amount of capability. This is the entire spectrum of how we're able to express ourselves in the way that is complementary to all bands. We're not just looking at the red. We're not just looking at the orange. We're looking at the entirety of the spectrum. The Rainbow Wise looks at the perception of all things in reality, in life. And that's basically what the book is covering here, of really being able to sharpen your ability and moving into that achievement of rainbow wisdom. So again, when you are in rainbow wisdom, you are an ally to perception. You are an ally to yourself. And that aspect and appreciation of yourself is just radiating light throughout the world, so that other people who are aligned to your frequency in regards to how you present yourself magnetically align back to you, and you create a power node. Because it's not you being a teacher, it's you being presence. It's you just becoming an example. People see that example, and through their own self-teacher, they create that aspect. They bring that about. And through what is being created with the Psychic Academy, this is also being taught in a different way, being able to be shared, to teach, to encourage others to teach themselves. And that's the whole key here, is looking into a Rainbow Wise University, a Psychic Academy. And that's coming together as well too. That is in the works, and that's rolling out December 1st. So again, everything in this video is basically here to show you that your understanding of perception matters. And that everything that you're doing in your reality, through everybody else you're responding with, are all parts of catalysts, are all parts of reflections that are coming back into you to see exactly how you see yourself. Some people may come up and say, well, you know what, Brad, my family really doesn't resonate with what I'm doing in regards to the spiritual journey. I've had old friends that just think I've gone off the deep end. What do I do to change that? What can I do to change that? There's nothing you can do to change that. It's basically understanding that you are vibrating at a certain frequency. They are vibrating at a frequency like this. The two aspects of those vibrations are not compatible. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? You can't do anything. You are now at the point where all you can do is, in your own way, continue to love and continue to support, in your own way, those particular family and friends that have decided to feel that they cannot magnetize to your energy in regards to the path that you're following. Accept it. And just continue to send them blessings, because even though people don't understand what you're going through, even though people really don't get the path that you're walking, it's not always that point of possibility that can take place. You're going to have people that feel that, you've just gone completely crazy, you've gone haywire, you've lost it, you've gone way in the deep end. I'm looking at you now like you have 3 heads, right? That is going to happen, and that is going to take place, because you have altered your frequency into a higher band of reality, where you are seeing a perception where those other fellows, in that sense, are still operating in a band of reality that is still very much on the surface. Doesn't mean anybody is superior or inferior. It's that you've decided to climb the mountain, and now you are looking at the valley. Whereas everybody says, are you crazy? I'm not going up to the mountain. No. There's ice up there, there's snow, it's cold, I'm afraid of heights. I'm not going up to the mountain. You're up on the mountain, you've lost your friggin' mind. Right? That's the exact same thing, right? Now from the mountain, you're able to look at the summit, and you're able to look down at the valley, and you're able to see more what you could not see before. From those who are at the valley who thought you were nuts. You're going to go climb that big mountain all by yourself in that cold weather, and going up there with all those kind of heights. Oh my God, you have lost your mind for the love of... right? And that's all that's happening, is you're just looking at a different point of view, a different perspective. This does not have to be floaty, airy-fairy, voodoo, pagan, bleh, right? This is all about the idea of you just moving into a state of perception. Doesn't mean you have to fall in love with unicorns. Doesn't mean you have to fall in love with fairies and pixies and hobgoblins, right? Even though a lot of them do exist, but that's another story. But it's all about being able to understand that perception changes through depth. When you operate on a higher frequency in regards to a state of love, you are operating on a band of subtle energies. Subtle energies, just like we would look at a guitar that has not been plucked. When they are plucked, even in the most subtle ways, the chords vibrate. And because you have been so finely tuned into the state of subtle energies through that love adoption, now you're able to see, now you're able to feel, now you're able to hear and experience those subtle vibrations a lot more, because that has been part of your reality. You have grown yourself to accept more of love within you. And now other people may not be able to see that, and that's okay. It's alright if people cannot understand what you're going through here. I myself have had that for 6 years, of being able to feel that other people could not see what I was going through. I was basically called every single name in the book. I was getting psychiatrists thrown at me, psychologists thrown at me, etc., because a lot of people thought I lost it, right? Thinking that, oh my goodness, now he's into channeling, now he's into energy healing, now he's into meditation. Oh my God, this guy's lost it. What has happened to our Brad? He's gone completely nuts, right? And that has happened, and that has been a big journey that I've, again, through the last couple of years, it's been very, very harmonized now. That really doesn't happen so much anymore. But in the beginning times of walking this path of awakening, of going into this awakening series, of moving into the flow, of understanding more about who I am, it's been a lot of retaliation. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that a lot of our encouragement to love is often looked at with puzzling faces. But that's how we're changing. That's how we're evolving. People have gotten so used to the easy button of life. Okay, now my whole thing about insecurity about myself can be cured with medication. Click. Now I can look more into myself. I'll just go to church. Click. Right? There is no easy button in life. We have just basically been drawn and bred to think that life is full of easy buttons. just somebody else take care of it, just somebody invent this, just somebody else create a pill, just somebody else create a religion. It's all taken care of. It's a complacency effect. And we're just looking to realize that no, it's not about easy buttons anymore. There certainly can be a simplistic way of life, but you have to work on yourself. A magic pill is not going to take it away. Religion's not going to take it away. Government's not going to take it away. It's all about you being able to decide that I am going to adopt with perception, I am going to look deeper into vibration, and I am going to move into rainbow wisdom by looking into myself, because I am all there is. Thank you so much for watching Part 3 of the Awakening series. I hope you have enjoyed this series for Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. Again, Rainbow Wisdom is coming out November 11th on Amazon. Again, November 1st, you can purchase the online version, the PDF version, on ConsciousMatrix.com. So thank you very much for watching. I'm Brad Johnson, and I look forward to speaking to you all again soon. Have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are in the world. Take care. Namaste, and may it be well with you. Goodbye.